So I was recently reading my Justice League of America and Fantastic Four comic books from the 1960s. And I came to the conclusion that the Fantastic Four is a better comic book than the Justice League of America during that time frame. Why? Stay tuned for the video.
Anachronic.
Hi comic book fans, I'm Joe and welcome to Anachronic Comics. So why was the Fantastic Four a better comic book than the Justice League of America during the 1960s? So if you're a fan of superhero comics, you might have wondered why the Fantastic Four, created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby in 1961, became such a huge success in the 1960s, while the Justice League of America, created by Gardner Fox and Mike Sekowsky in 1960, seemed to lag behind in popularity and innovation. In this video, I'm going to try to answer this question by comparing and contrasting the two teams and their stories, and showing how the Fantastic Four revolutionized the superhero genre in the 1960s. Justice League of America, or JLA, was DC Comics' answer to the popularity of superhero teams in the late 1950s, such as The Challenges of the Unknown, also created by Kirby. The JLA consisted of DC's most famous heroes: Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, Aquaman, and Martian Manhunter. They were a group of powerful and noble champions who fought cosmic threats and supervillains, often using their individual weaknesses as plot devices. The JLA stories were mostly formulaic and episodic, with little character development or continuity. The JLA members rarely had any conflicts or disagreements among themselves, and their personalities were mostly bland and interchangeable. The Fantastic Four, the FF, on the other hand, was Marvel Comics' attempt to create a new kind of superhero team, one that was more realistic and relatable to the readers. The FF consisted of four ordinary people who gained superpowers after being exposed to cosmic rays during a space flight. Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, a brilliant scientist who could stretch his body. Sue Storm, the Invisible Girl, his fiancée, who could turn invisible and project force fields. Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, her younger brother, who could ignite himself and fly. And Ben Grimm, the Thing, Reed's best friend, who was transformed into a rocky monster with super strength. They were not a team by choice, but by circumstance, and they had to deal with the consequences of their powers, both personal and social. The FF stories were more varied and creative, with elements of science fiction, horror, humor, and drama. The FF members had distinct and dynamic personalities, and they often argued and bickered with each other, sometimes even coming to blows. The FF was a radical departure from the traditional superhero tropes of the time. They did not wear costumes or masks, at least in the beginning, and they did not have secret identities, but they did get a headquarters eventually, FF number 3. They did not fight crime or uphold the law. They were more like explorers and adventurers, seeking out new worlds and challenges. They also faced realistic problems such as paying bills, maintaining relationships, coping with fame and public opinion. They were flawed and human, not perfect and godlike. They were more like a family than a team. The FF also introduced many new concepts and characters that would shape the Marvel Universe for decades to come. They were the first to encounter many of Marvel's most iconic villains, such as Doctor Doom, Galactus, Silver Surfer, the Skrulls, Mole Man, and Annihilus. They also met many of Marvel's other heroes such as Spider-Man, Hulk, Black Panther, the Inhumans, and the X-Men. They also dealt with many social issues such as racism, sexism, environmentalism, and politics. The FF was not only a better comic book than the JLA during the 1960s, but also a more influential one. The FF set the tone and style for Marvel's Silver Age of comics, which would soon surpass DC's in sales and popularity. The FF also inspired many other creators to experiment with new ideas and approaches to superhero storytelling. The FF was a true marvel of comics history. think of joining the channel. All the proceeds from membership and my merch store go to St. Jude's Research Hospital for Children with Cancer and the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Thanks for watching. Be well, and I'll see you soon.